We've all heard the saying, love the skin you're in. But if there's something about your appearance you don't like, maybe you can do something to change it, especially if you have enough money to invest in expensive cosmetic products. But what happens when a very wealthy person decides to alter their appearance? Leave a comment #1 and let's take a look at how some extremely rich people have transformed themselves into plastic dolls. If you were to ask Jocelyn Wildenstein to stand next to her former self, you probably wouldn't recognize them as the same person. In fact, Jocelyn Wildenstein today looks more like a character from a painting than a 75-year-old woman. But how did a woman who was once a famous socialite in the United States end up with a face that looks as if it were inflated with a bicycle pump? Jocelyn was born in Lucerne, Switzerland in 1945, but later moved to Paris, where she became an accomplished hunter and pilot. Jocelyn was then introduced to Alec Wildenstein, a billionaire art dealer at a hunting event, and they got married and had 2 children together. However, Jocelyn later discovered that her husband had been having an affair with a 19-year-old Russian model. This led to a messy and highly publicized divorce in 1999. Desperate to win back her ex-husband, Jocelyn came up with a plan. If her husband loved big game hunting so much, she would transform herself into a wild animal. After the divorce, Jocelyn received a staggering $2.5 billion in a settlement, along with over $100 million a year in alimony, making her one of the wealthiest women in the United States at the time. And what did she do with that immense fortune? She invested it in expensive plastic surgeries. Experts believe that she underwent numerous procedures, such as upper and lower eyelid lifts, a forehead lift, face lifts, lip injections, chin implants, fat grafting, and cheek implants, along with many other treatments. It is also speculated that she had a procedure called canthopexy, which lifts the eyes to create a cat eye appearance. Despite this, Jocelyn has consistently claimed that she has never had any surgery and insists that her look is simply the result of her Swiss heritage. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Apparently all Swiss people look like a cross between lions and humans. After her ex-husband passed away in 2008, Jocelyn lived in a luxurious $13 million apartment on the 51st floor of Trump Towers. However, everything collapsed in 2018 when she suddenly filed for bankruptcy, claiming that her bank account had a balance of $0. I wonder if surgeons accept payment via IUS cards these days. The next cosmetic surgery enthusiast needs little introduction. If you're a fan of the show RuPaul's Drag Race, you've definitely heard of Detox. Detox's real name is Matthew Sanderson, and she is a world-renowned drag queen, as well as one of the most memorable contestants on the show. She placed 4th in Season 5, and later returned for All Stars 2, where she finished as the runner-up. Although Detox never won the crown in either season, she is undoubtedly one of the drag queens who has undergone one of the most dramatic physical transformations in the show's history. Detox first rose to fame with her nightclub performances in the early 2000s and even appeared in music videos for major stars like Rihanna and Kesha. Since then, she has built a successful career, even gracing the cover of New York Magazine in 2019 and ranking 14th on the magazine's list of the 100 most powerful drag queens in America. Of course, she looks completely different without the makeup and wigs, but Sanderson, the real person behind Detox, has also undergone a significant transformation. As a skinny boy, he discovered cosmetic surgery at the age of 17 after attending his first drag show. Looking back on that time, Sanderson once said, "I've always been very thin, and I realized that I could have a beautiful body by injecting silicone, and that's exactly what he did." Although the exact number of surgeries that make up Detox's look is unclear, Sanderson has shared that he injected gallons of silicone into his body, including his hips, chest, shoulders, and buttocks. In 2018, Detox made headlines after undergoing a surgery to achieve the perfect six-pack abs, but the result was a disaster. As you can see, Sanderson's abs ended up looking lumpy and uneven. Detox later appeared on the TV show Botched, where she begged the renowned surgeons to fix her embarrassing stomach. Indeed, wealthy individuals often go to great lengths to avoid having to exercise. Cosmetic surgery remains a controversial topic in today's world, but luckily, there are easier ways to manage one's appearance. For instance, 2 out of 3 men will experience male pattern baldness by the time they reach 35. Fortunately, this unpleasant experience can be treated with a fantastic subscription service called Keeps, which sponsored today's video. Remember the iconic line, "I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom" from Mean Girls? That phrase pretty much sums up the style of Nanette Hammond, a 45-year-old mother of 5 from Cincinnati. She decided that looking normal was not an option for her. Instead, she wanted to look like, yep, you guessed it, Barbie. Hammond, who loved playing with dolls as a child, has spent nearly $500,000 to transform herself into a real-life Barbie. Her cosmetic surgery journey began when she was just 21, shortly after she started dyeing her hair the signature platinum blonde. She spent $3,000 on her first breast augmentation. Not long after, she began regularly getting Botox and collagen fillers for her lips, a routine she has continued ever since. By the time Nanette hit her 30s, she really started splurging, spending around $1,700 on hair extensions and coloring, $140 a month on tanning sessions, $350 for manicures and pedicures, and $490 for eyelash extensions. Because of her petite frame, Nanette had to have custom-made clothing, which cost her an additional $280 a month. But the story doesn't end there. Nanette had another breast augmentation at 38, increasing her bust size to a 28H, which set her back $9,800. Additionally, she spent $5,800 on dental veneers to achieve a cartoonishly perfect smile. Her husband Dave is the one paying for everything. To complete her Barbie image, Nanette also owns 3 custom Barbie cars, worth a total of $247,000, all purchased by Dave. Nanette makes no apologies for her extravagant lifestyle and loves the idea of looking like Barbie well into old age. As for her children, according to Nanette, they're just proud of me and what I've achieved through surgery. Oh, how sweet! Jessica Alves, a Brazilian-British television personality and former flight attendant, has undergone numerous cosmetic surgeries in her journey to change her appearance. She was born as Rodrigo Alves on July 30th, 1983, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Alves's grandfather bought her Barbie dolls and allowed her to dress as she pleased from a young age. However, Alves was unhappy with her body as she grew up and was bullied because of her appearance, which fueled her desire to achieve a perfect doll-like look. At the age of 19, Alves underwent her first nose surgery, opening up a whole new world of possibilities for altering her appearance. But the doll she wanted to resemble wasn't Barbie, it was Ken. After always feeling insecure about her body, Alves decided to transform herself into the ideal male figure with bulging muscles, a six-pack, and sharp cheekbones. Of course, all of this was achieved through cosmetic surgery. In total, Alves has undergone 103 surgeries with a cost of over $500,000, including hair transplants, brow lifts, eyelid lifts, ear reduction surgery, cheek implants, and filler injections in her shoulders, arms, and abdomen to create the appearance of a six-pack. However, in early 2019, Alves began confronting something she had kept hidden for a long time. She is transgender. The image she sought to achieve was not Ken, but Barbie. A year later, Alves publicly transitioned, changing her name and appearance. She now has voluminous blonde hair, a slim waist, plump lips, and a fuller bust. Alves spent an additional $130,000 on gender confirmation surgeries, including removing her six-pack abs, breast augmentation, Adam's apple reduction, jawline contouring, facial surgery, eyelid lifts, liposuction, and Botox injections. She was able to fund these surgeries thanks to her family's ownership of a chain of grocery stores in Brazil, making them quite wealthy. However, Alves also inherited some real estate in Marbella, Spain, which she rents out to tourists. Additionally, she became a television personality, appearing on several reality shows such as Celebrity Big Brother UK. Despite already having a striking appearance, Alves still has more cosmetic surgery plans in the works, including full gender confirmation surgery. If you have any idea of what a Barbie doll looks like, the 35-year-old Ukrainian model Valeria Lukanova might seem very familiar to you, as she is known as the real-life Barbie. And it's easy to see why, with her mesmerizing icy blue eyes, platinum blonde straight hair, and nearly impossible body proportions. It's hard to believe that Valeria isn't some doll made in a factory. She grew up in Tibel, a bleak town in the poorest country in Europe, Moldova. In her youth, Valeria was rebellious and embraced a Gothic style. But when she was 16 and moved to Odessa, southern Ukraine, everything changed. After landing a few small modeling gigs, Valeria dyed her hair platinum for the first time and met a wealthy construction tycoon named Dmitry. By this point, Valeria had learned how to master makeup and intricate hairstyles, but with Dmitry's bank account behind her, her transformation truly took off. Today, her waist is so tiny it's almost unbelievable, and her body proportions are almost entirely unrecognizable from those of an ordinary person. If you want to know exactly which surgeries helped Valeria achieve this look, you'll have a hard time hearing it straight from her. She only admits to having had breast augmentation, and beyond that, she insists that her appearance is the result of makeup, daily exercise, and a special diet. In 2014, she claimed to have joined a cult called breatharianism, where she trained herself to live on light and air alone, but she quickly realized that this was unsustainable. Valeria has become a major influencer thanks to her unusual appearance, and she even has followers in real life, like YouTuber Anastasia Shagina, who attempts to replicate her look using clever makeup tricks. This real-life Barbie might be a bit unsettling to some, but at least we can be thankful she didn't choose to model after the image of Chucky. If Valeria Lukanova is a real-life Barbie, then Justin Jada is Ken. In fact, if he were to stand in a store and pretend to be a doll, you might not even give him a second glance. Justin, now 40 years old, was born in New York in 1980 and became obsessed with the idea of cosmetic surgery after watching the reality show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous as a child. For Justin, surgery was a symbol of wealth and the luxurious lifestyle he wanted to emulate. Unfortunately, his parents didn't support cosmetic surgery, so he had to wait until he was old enough to begin his transformation journey. Just 4 days after his 18th birthday, Justin underwent a rhinoplasty, and from that point on, everything else became history. As of 2012, Justin had undergone around 190 cosmetic surgeries, including rhinoplasty, breast implants, shoulder and arm implants, eyebrow lifts, cheek implants, and various liposuction procedures. Since then, rumors have circulated that Justin has undergone more than 1,000 surgeries, making him nearly 99.9% plastic by now. Although Justin didn't come from an especially wealthy family, he was once married to a successful businessman, and the couple lived in Trump Tower before divorcing in 2016. This could explain how he continued to feed his obsession. At one point, Justin claimed to have spent around $600,000 on surgeries and treatments. Today, Justin lives in Australia and proudly identifies as part of a polyamorous relationship. It's certainly a modern take on the Barbie and Ken story I grew up with. If Valeria Lukin-Noe is the inspiration for a plastic doll, then Sahar Tabar, a 22-year-old Iranian influencer, chose to model herself after a living figure, perhaps a Hollywood icon, Angelina Jolie. However, if she thought Jolie looked like this, she might want to get her eyes checked. In reality, Sahar resembles a zombified version of the star, which is why she is often referred to as Zombie Angelina Jolie. Some time ago, Sahar, whose real name is Fatima Kishan, looked like an ordinary teenager, but in 2017 she began attracting hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram after posting bizarre and unsettling images of her distorted appearance. As you might guess, Sahar seems to have used a lot of Photoshop to alter her look, explaining the high nose, super slim body, and blotchy skin we see in her photos. She also wears colored contact lenses and earrings on her cheeks to highlight her style. However, there's no denying that some cosmetic surgery interventions have taken place as well. Although she doesn't look too extreme in the videos posted on social media, it's clear that Sahar has undergone a significant transformation from the fresh-faced teenager she once was. Her nose appears more refined, her cheeks are hollowed out, and her lips are fuller, indicating that she's likely had a rhinoplasty, liposuction, and filler injections, at least in her lips and cheeks. Unfortunately, we may never learn more about Sahar's personal life, or how she could afford her cosmetic surgeries, as she was arrested in Iran in October 2019. Sahar was accused of inciting youth, as well as charges of insult and inciting violence. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison and reportedly appealed to Angelina Jolie to advocate for her release. Sahar's Instagram account was also deleted after her arrest, so we may never hear from the zombie-like girl again. Many women dream of achieving an hourglass figure, but what does that really mean? Just ask model and former electrician Pixie Fox, who has spent over $125,000 on surgeries to transform herself from an ordinary woman into a living cartoon character. This 31-year-old Swedish woman has always dreamed of looking like her favorite animated characters, from The Little Mermaid to Jessica Rabbit, and she wouldn't stop at anything to achieve that goal. To date, Pixie has undergone more than 200 different cosmetic surgeries, including rhinoplasty, eyelid surgery, brow lifts, lip and cheek fillers, 4 breast augmentations, and a Brazilian butt lift. Pixie has also undergone permanent makeup, a cosmetic technique that involves tattooing the face with designs that resemble makeup, such as eyeliner and highlighting the cheeks and lips. But that's not the craziest thing Pixie has done to achieve her goal. Of course, animated characters are famous for their unrealistic body proportions, but there was one thing standing in the way for Pixie: her ribs. So in 2015, she made the decision to undergo surgery to remove 6 of her ribs in order to shrink her waist to its absolute smallest. She described the surgery as a dream, but also admitted that this is a procedure not many doctors in the US would perform. Pixie, who wore a corset 24 hours a day, now has a 16-inch waist, about 40 centimeters, and hopes to break the world record of 15 inches. But that's not all. She has also undergone nose and ear surgeries to achieve a more cartoonish look, and even traveled to South Korea in 2017 to have her jaw reshaped and create a more pointed chin. A year earlier, in 2016, Pixie caused a stir when she underwent a dangerous surgery to have permanent eye implants. This procedure, which is typically only done to correct abnormalities, was performed in New Delhi, India, at a cost of around $5,600, and changed the color of her eyes from blue to a fantastical green, like something out of a cartoon. Pixie has appeared in countless magazines, over 180 newspapers, and TV channels in 42 different countries, and it seems the media's obsession with her cosmetic journey has been enough to fund it. How much longer until Pixie discovers a surgery that can turn her into a 2D person? If you happen to walk past a 56-year-old Italian woman named Fulvia Polino on the street, you might think you just passed a living, inflated doll. But if you looked closely at her wedding day, you'd hardly recognize her in the crowd. Oh, I forgot to mention you might spot her by the tie she wears. If you still haven't figured it out, Fulvia, formerly Fulio, is a transgender woman. Fulvia realized at the age of 15 that she was born in the wrong body, but she knew that the people in her small hometown of Pugno, especially her deeply religious family, would not understand. So Fulvia kept her true identity hidden and decided to live her life as a man. Fulvia met her wife, Marisa, who is also in the picture, and they started a family together. By day, Fulvia played up her masculinity, owning a collection of guns and expensive cars, but at night, she would often visit gay bars and even dress in women's clothing in the safety of her own garage. However, about 20 years ago, Fulvia decided she couldn't hide her true self any longer. She told her wife, Marisa, that she planned to transition, and after the initial shock wore off, Marisa decided to stay by her side. Although Fulvia used to run a restaurant, she no longer works, and the couple now lives off Marisa's income as a holistic therapist. However, Fulvia knew that their income was not enough to fund the expensive surgeries, so she sold her guns, cars, the restaurant, and even a house in France to pay for her surgeries. With Marisa's support, Fulvia spent nearly $80,000 on her transition process, including treatments like $150 lip and cheek filler injections, 4 breast augmentations, 2 liposuctions, skin removal surgeries, laser hair removal, and a $30,000 butt lift. However, Fulvia wasn't satisfied and had more surgeries planned, including full gender confirmation surgery. Unfortunately, some of her surgeries didn't go as expected, such as one that lowered her belly button by 6 inches and another that left her lips looking unnaturally large. Sadly, Fulvia was shunned by her family, and she and Marisa faced social rejection in their town, but they still have each other. And that is what matters most. After all, love cannot be measured in money. Sometimes it seems like people addicted to plastic surgery are trying to outdo each other in terms of shocking body transformations. But if you ask me, there is only one true queen of extreme body modification, and that's Martina Big. The 32-year-old woman was born in a town in western Germany near Luxembourg in 1988 and started her career as a flight attendant after graduating from high school. Martina met her husband, Michael, who is a pilot, through her work, but she stopped working in 2012 to pursue a full-time career as a model and actress. At that time, Martina looked quite different from the image we know of her today. And I'm not joking, that's her in the December 2012 photo. Martina had her first breast augmentation surgery in 2012 with inflatable implants. Since then, she has undergone 23 more surgeries to increase their size, reaching an enormous bra size of 32S. To put it into perspective, each of Martina's breasts now contains an implant nearly 10 times the size of a double D implant, which she inflates using a saline pump. But this isn't the most shocking thing about Miss Big. You may have noticed that throughout her body transformation, Martina has also become much darker in skin tone. Initially, this started with an unhealthy obsession with tanning on tanning beds, which caught people's attention as she gradually moved away from her natural ethnicity. However, Martina then had a moment of awakening. She asked herself, "Do I really have to be a white woman?" In fact, this former light-skinned model claimed that the color of her eyebrows and hair changed magically after undergoing a series of experimental skin injections, which helped her realize her true mission in life. In 2019, Martina shocked the public when she announced that she had traveled to Kenya with her boyfriend Michael, where she was baptized by a Kenyan pastor and given the name Malika Kua, meaning great angel in Swahili. Although she has since returned to Germany, Martina continues to assert that she is truly an African woman at heart and will pursue this tradition despite facing criticism from many. Personally, I think she might want to consider changing her name to Martina Issue. Some of these transformations are truly mind-blowing, while others have sparked intense controversy. Whether it's for self-expression, the pursuit of perfection, or for other reasons, these individuals have certainly left a lasting mark on the world of cosmetic procedures. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, stay curious and keep exploring the world of beauty. See you in the next video.